Hold up, Browns Nation. I'm about to blow your mind with something that sounds absolutely insane, but might just be the most brilliant move Cleveland could make this offseason. You're probably thinking I've lost it talking about hockey when we should be focused on football, but stick with me because this is about to get really interesting. Picture this. What if I told you that a 36-year-old NHL veteran who just finished a season with the Toronto Maple Leafs could hold the key to unlocking everything the Browns have been building toward? I know, you're scratching your head right now, wondering what the heck a hockey player has to do with our Super Bowl dreams. But here's where it gets fascinating. Max Pacioretty, the guy who captained the Montreal Canadiens for 3 seasons and just wrapped up what might be his final NHL campaign, represents something that every championship team desperately needs. And Cleveland? We're closer to having all the pieces than most people realize, but we're still missing that one crucial ingredient that separates the playoff hopefuls from the Super Bowl champions. See, while everyone's obsessing over draft picks and blockbuster trades, the smartest organizations understand that sometimes the most impactful moves happen in the margins. Sometimes it's not about the flashiest signing or the highest paid free agent. Sometimes it's about finding that perfect veteran presence who can transform your entire locker room culture overnight. Think about it. We've got Myles Garrett absolutely terrorizing quarterbacks and establishing himself as one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. Our secondary is young, hungry, and loaded with potential. The offense has weapons that can compete with anybody. But what happens when the pressure mounts? What happens in those crucial January moments when experience matters more than raw talent? That's exactly where a player like Pacioretty becomes invaluable, even though he's never stepped foot on an NFL field. This isn't about him switching sports. That would be ridiculous. This is about understanding the blueprint that championship teams follow and why veteran leadership is absolutely non-negotiable when you're trying to get over the hump. Pacioretty spent a decade in Montreal, 3 years as their captain, and played in over 625 regular season games. He's been through playoff battles, handled pressure situations, and knows what it takes to perform when everything's on the line. Last season with Toronto, even at 36 years old, he still managed 13 points in 37 games and added 8 more points in 11 playoff games. That's not a guy who's done. That's a guy who knows how to rise to the occasion. But here's what makes this even more intriguing. Pacioretty is at a crossroads right now, admitting that being away from his family made last season tough, and he's genuinely considering whether to continue his career. Sound familiar? That's the exact same position that countless NFL veterans find themselves in every offseason, weighing whether they've got one more championship run left in them. Now imagine Cleveland's front office recognizing this opportunity. Imagine them understanding that veteran leadership isn't just about on-field production. It's about what happens in the meeting rooms, the practice facility, and those crucial moments when younger players need someone to show them the way. We've built something special in Cleveland over the past few years. We've assembled talent that can compete with anybody in the AFC North, and let's be real, that division is an absolute gauntlet right now. The Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers aren't going anywhere, which means every single advantage matters. Every piece of the puzzle becomes critical when you're fighting for playoff positioning in what might be the most competitive division in football. The financial projections are interesting too. Analysts think Pacioretty might sign another 1-year deal worth around $8,000, which in today's market is practically pocket change for the potential impact he could provide. That's not just smart money, that's genius-level roster construction. But let's zoom out for a second and talk about what this really represents. Cleveland has shown repeatedly that they're not afraid to make bold, unconventional moves. They've proven they understand that championship teams aren't just built through traditional methods. Sometimes you need to think outside the box, sometimes you need to find value where others don't see it, and sometimes you need to prioritize intangibles over measurables. Think about players like Denzel Ward and some of our newer offensive additions. These guys have incredible talent, but talent without proper guidance can only take you so far. They need someone in that locker room who's been through the wars, who's felt the pressure of carrying a team, and who understands what it actually takes to win at the highest level. The timing couldn't be more perfect either. We're not talking about a rebuild or a long-term project. Cleveland is ready to compete right now. We've got a window of opportunity that's wide open, and championship windows don't stay open forever. The front office knows this, the coaching staff knows this, and every single player in that building knows this. What makes this situation even more compelling is how it reflects the broader strategy that successful NFL teams employ. It's not always about the biggest names or the most expensive contracts. Sometimes it's about finding those perfect puzzle pieces that fit exactly what your team needs at exactly the right moment. The AFC North is going to be an absolute war this season. Every game matters, every advantage counts, and when you're going up against Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and whatever the Steelers manage to put together, you need every possible edge. Having that veteran presence who can keep everyone focused and composed during those intense divisional battles could be the difference between watching the playoffs from home and making a legitimate Super Bowl run. And let's not forget, Cleveland fans deserve this. We've been through everything, we've waited patiently, and we've supported this team through every high and low imaginable. We're not just building for the future anymore, we're building for right now. We're building for a championship that's been decades in the making. The beauty of this whole concept is that it shows how championship-level thinking works. It's not just about collecting talent, it's about understanding how all the pieces fit together. It's about recognizing that sometimes the most important signing isn't the one that makes headlines, it's the one that makes everything else click into place. So, as we move through this offseason, keep your eyes open for these kinds of strategic moves. Keep watching for signs that the front office is thinking creatively about how to put this team over the top. Because if there's one thing I know about successful organizations, it's that they find ways to gain advantages that other teams miss entirely. The foundation is already there, Browns fans. The talent is undeniable, the coaching is solid, and the organizational commitment is real. But championships aren't won just with talent, they're won with the perfect combination of skill, experience, leadership, and opportunity. And right now, Cleveland is positioned to make moves that could bring all those elements together in a way that changes everything. If you're as excited about this possibility as I am, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Browns Breakout, because we're going to be covering every single development that could impact this team's championship aspirations. The off-season is just getting started, and I have a feeling we're going to see some moves that nobody saw coming. What do you think, Browns Nation? Are you ready to see this organization think outside the box and make the kind of strategic moves that championship teams make? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to hear from every single one of you. This is our time, this is our moment, and this could be the beginning of something absolutely special in Cleveland.